My point is, I don't always have to give a precursor explanation stating what I don't mean before saying my main point in order to avoid being misunderstood. My reasoning is that people might misunderstand me anyways and not listen to my main point. I'll explain my reasoning by giving some insight into my mind.
I have had a fear of being misunderstood and wrongfully judged. I also am afraid that people will get offended and then not listen to me anymore. I fear saying something where a person would get the wrong image of me, because then I feel I must explain myself.
So, to prevent that from even happening, because I don't want to lose credibility, my genius self thought it would be a great idea to pre explain myself by stating what it is that I am not saying. I know, brilliant. But what I have learned from telling people at the beginning, hey, this is not what I mean, is that their focus tends to not stick around for the part when I am actually sharing my main idea and point. Instead, what happens is that they are left to their own conclusions. Oh boy. They might start having thoughts like, hey, why is this guy so anxious and scared that we might think this? Maybe he does think that. Or they might misinterpret what I'm saying because now they are thinking about exactly what I'm not wanting them to think about.
People often have these expressions.
So the plan didn't work. Didn't work. To understand what is happening, I turn to our friend the polar bear.
So, you know that study where people were asked to not think about a white bear and they couldn't help but to think about the white bear? Well, that was research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology in 1987, volume 53, number 1, where Professor Wagner developed his theory of ironic processes. Now, I think that's exactly what is going on with my audience when I tell them, hey, just so you know, this is not what I'm talking about. They're going to be like those people who couldn't not think about the white bear. So, what's the solution here? Well, the same professor that studied this also gave a tip for not thinking about the bear, which is to think of a red Volkswagen instead. Now, what I propose is that I just go straight into my main point and start with that.
What really is important is to state your main point. Everyone is going to have a perspective, and that perspective might be about you, and it might be different, distorted, and negative. But people do not define who you are. So if you have a point, believe in yourself. Have a foundation of the worth and sense of your identity that transcends everything. Love yourself. This will help you state your ideas because you have to get your first point across if you're ever going to get to any other point. And that is my second point. Thank you.